So for a lot of people, it's going to be a first time that they smoke weed, unless they're from a country where they get stoned for doing it, right? I want to tell you about the times that I've been around marijuana, okay? Now, I personally have actually never smoked it myself, but I've held a blunt to my mouth for a photo. Didn't even touch my lips, just looked like it did, right? But, like, don't do it. I'm old enough now, to the point where I feel like I've successfully avoided it, and have the discipline to never do it, right? But even people who don't do it have done it, and it's just bad. Like, even stuff like vapes, don't do it. Like, I know it's, you know, it's a bit lower down the scale, but do you know what, right? Let's just have a chat about weed. So, first of all, when I was about 11, 12, I was really scared of, like, drugs. And let's just call weed a drug. Even if it's not a drug, I don't see it as a drug, but let's just call it a drug, because it's in that fucking category of stuff you shouldn't do, right? I was always dead scared of it, right? Feeling like I was going to get offered it off someone, like outside of Tesco's or something. And I'd be like, oh, how do I say no? You know, but that ended up not being the case. I used to go around my friend's house, right? And they'd be smoking weed every single day. You know, it'd be like the main thing that they do, just sit in like a little garage sort of thing. I don't even know what it was. It was hardly like a shed or something. And they'd just be like smoking weed, like 3, 4 of them, something like that. And I'd be the only one not doing it. And sometimes we'd go around other people's houses and I'd be sat on a bed of 8 people. I'd be one of the 8, and this blunt would be getting passed around, and I'd be the only one not doing it. And no one cared. No one cared. By the way, no one judges you if you don't smoke weed. Like, I know they'll do the old thing of like, oh yeah, do it. You know, like, oh, you're let down. Like, they'll say all that. If they don't care, right? And look who's laughing a few years down the line when you don't do it, right? So yeah, I've been around weed a lot. I've seen people do it in front of me. I don't think it smells good. I mean, a few weeks ago I went around my friend's house, and she doesn't smoke weed, right? You know, there's 3 of us in this, you know, flat, and from downstairs we were smoking weed, and it was coming up through the walls and the roof and that, and it was really strong, okay? But yeah, I used to go around my friend's house, and, you know, weed would be a different friend, like saying they'd be smoking weed every day and stuff like that. But you always assume that drug dealers are going to be like these big bad people. Like, they're not. A lot of them are like skinny and like would be scared if you started on them. You could probably snatch it off them, you know, and who are they going to tell? You know, but I'm going to tell you the reasons why you shouldn't do drugs. You know, because first of all, the people who do them are just losers, you know. You get in these circles, right, of people who smoke weed, and people do it in school. The first time I ever saw it was I was 16. I think I'd just turned 17 really, but everyone around me was 16, and you know, it was like outside a big place where I live, and they're just doing it, and I was like, oh my goodness me, they're smoking weed, you know. Like, even though people would have been doing it in school, I just never got offered it, because I only really like knocked around with my mates in school. But yeah, like, it's good to be like in my 20s and I've never touched any kind of drugs at all, because I'm not a loser. Like, I've never even puffed a cigarette. I've never even smoked a fag. Not one puff of it. I've had a few puffs of vapes. I've never brought one. This is why you shouldn't do weed. Because, first of all, it makes you lazy. I had a friend, and I went round his house. He invited me round his house, right? I just looked at his walls and that, and all he did every day was just smoke weed. And it's like, he was a complete burnout. He could barely even bloody walk, right? Like, he was normal enough, but like, he spoke like this, you know, like, because he was always like too relaxed, and his wallpaper was completely peeled off. He had like crisp packets on the ground. This is a guy younger than me. Like, he had dog shit in his garden, and I'm thinking, like, you just smoke weed every day, and this has just ruined your life because you're so lazy. He's gone out and got himself a job now. I haven't spoken to him in years now, but like, he's probably still smoking it. His house is probably still a mess. Don't smoke weed, even occasionally. Don't do it ever, right? Anyway, let me say this. So the people who smoke it, keep smoking it, and then they get in these crowds. I don't listen to people say, oh, it's not addictive. Like, it is, and even if it's not, don't do it. They get in these crowds of people, because like attracts like, where they also smoke weed. And so if you have something in common with someone, you know, there'll be, you know, these big groups. One will be a lad, one will be a lass as well. So they'll end up getting together, where they meet every day to smoke weed, because they're so confident to ask. And then it gets to the point where all they do is smoke weed. You know, it becomes their life, it's their culture, it's who they are, right? So they're visiting each other every single day, man and a girl, right? And they'll be like 16 years old, something like that, and all they do is smoke weed in a little room. They also shag, and then they have these kids that they can't look after, and this is because of weed. This is because of weed. You know, it's not what it does to your body, it's what it does to your freedom. It's expensive as well, may I add. I'll make this point as well. You're gonna get in these friend groups where it's a high turnover of friends, because none of them will stay by you, but you'll keep getting asked for money, and you'll never have any money because you do weed. You know, it's your whole personality. So that sounds like an addiction. These people will keep asking you for money. And because they'll never have money and you'll never have money, and that's a hard thing to say no to. You'll never have any money and you'll get asked a lot to borrow it. You won't have good friends who really push you in life or that you ever have fun or memories with. Don't ask me how much it is because I've never brought any, but I do see people just handing over 20 quid and it's like a little bag, and I know it's like gets rolled up into a blunt or whatever, you know, but it leads to bongs and all this stuff, and you just do more stuff. It's bad. Like, I know this couple, they're not married, they're both, I think one's just in their 20s, the other's a teenager. They're renting this terrace house to buy. It goes down in value, and this guy, he's done too much too young, and now he's working all these hours. Like, he's doing like 8 to 10 hour shifts every single day of the week to look after his daughter, because all he did was just go in a room and smoke weed and shag, and smoke weed and shag, and it's what their family could hear them doing it as well. It's not nice. Everyone's house who I go around who's a stoner, the house is disgusting. And it's always a cheaper house as well. It's never a rich house. So yeah, it does lead to bigger stuff as well. You know, like cocaine and stuff like that. But yeah, don't do weed. Don't do weed. Makes you a loser. It makes you a burnout. It makes you a washout. So many better things you can spend your money on. Like, I promise you, as someone who's been around it every single day, I've seen what it's done to people. Don't smoke weed. Alright, thank you for watching. See you later.